Hey, Terry, welcome to Thursday. Hopefully, we have some more guest 30-1 winners today, huh?
Oh, that'd be great. That was a good pick you had yesterday. Uh,
Fantastic pick. I was a little upset though because I had the four horse, and if I had gotten the four horse to come home there in front of that three horse, I would have swept the hot dog and the prime rib pick fours. Although minus that three horse, I'm not so sure that last pick four would have paid more than it cost though for the prime rib variety.
that's true. But you did have a nice hot dog pick for. Paid what, 250 something or somewhere around there.
I think $180 for 50 cents, something
Oh,
like
that's
that.
right. It did.
For
Yeah.
for my $18 pick four. So that $18 turned into like 150 or 180 or something like that. And that last horse to finish it out, that Bravo Zulu,
Yeah.
that is becoming one of my favorite angles, Terry. That horses that have that early speed and then they fade. So they show that they got the flash, they get to the front, and then they fade. And then they get that first dose of Lasix,
Yeah.
and they can be tough to beat, man.
Yeah. And they probably fade because they bleed. So the
Hmm.
Lasix keeps them from bleeding. So,
Or their lungs are filling up and it's hard to breathe, that sort of thing, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that can definitely be the case. And those are the kind of horses that you probably have to put in those pick sixes if you're going to do like our guest last night, Jonathan Stitton. Did you watch that?
Oh, yeah. That was a great show. I really liked that show. And that guy has a lot of good information.
Hmm.
He's enjoyable to watch. I mean, I just like the way he speaks and he's so relaxed and presents himself. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, if you haven't caught that show yet, it's well worth your time to go over to, on our YouTube channel, Horse Racing Radar TV, and make sure you check that out because Jonathan talks a little bit about how he goes about constructing tickets. And every year he says he hits like at least $100,000 pick six, and he does, focus on, just to kind of recap, tracks and race dates where you're going to have a lot of money in the pools, as we talked about on the show last night. You could be the world's best handicapper. You can pick five or six 25-1 shots and all win. But if there's only $2,000 in the pick six pool, well, guess what? You can only win $2,000.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
paying attention to pool size, to me, Terry, is one of the most overlooked parts of betting.
Yeah. I'll tell you, until you started bringing that up to me, I never really thought about that. So yeah, I really think that's a good thing to watch. And he brought up the fact that he likes to do it on the days like uh, Derby days and you know Preakness days, that sort of thing, because he says there's a lot of recreational bettors
Mm.
who really fill up the pulls. Well, that's one of the reasons I like these smaller tracks because they run maybe once a year for 4 or 5 days, and there's a lot of recreational bettors there. So
Hmm.
I seem to do better, especially on trifectas and things like that. So
Well, for me, I get one of the things constantly working for Guaranteed Tip Sheet and here at horseracingtoday.net and across just friends, like the friends who know what I do, right? Or I don't know, Terry. When the people ask me, "What do you do?" Oh, I'm a handicapper. I get the what did he say? You know what I mean? But in any case,
yeah,
the question I get all the time is, "How do I bet?" Right? Which is an impossible question to answer for a million and one reasons. But
yeah,
when I bet, what I like to do, if I'm deciding like what I want to bet in a race, I look first at the money pools at the track because they'll show you in some of the services how much money's being bet on the trifecta, how much money's being bet on the exacta, what the pool size is,
yeah,
and I'll pick which one of those has the biggest pool size. Now, normally the biggest pool size is going to be the win, followed by the exacta, then the trifecta, superfecta, then you got your pick threes and so forth. But sometimes you'll find at a track that the trifecta pool is actually a lot bigger than the pick three pool.
hmm,
So you stand to make more money betting a trifecta than you do the pick three.
yeah. That
Unless of course a bomb comes in or something along those lines. But even still, if a bomb comes in on a trifecta, it's the same impact. And instead of needing to get a winner in every single race in a pick three or pick four, in a trifecta, you just need one winner, and then you need a second and third place horse. And once one wins, it can't come in second or third and beat you. Do you know what I'm saying? For the
yeah, I
exact or
do.
trifecta.
Yeah, yeah, makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah. And so that's how I bet. I look at the money pool, see where the most money is available, and then I bet in that one. I noticed a super high 5 in general do draw a big pool. Yeah, they do a lot of times.
Mhm.
All right, Terry, let's get talking about today's picks, Terry.
Okay.
We are talking about Aqueduct today, Terry. Only 8 races on the card. The first race on the card, Terry, is a maiden claiming, which is a 6 furlong maiden claiming $20,000. 6 furlongs on the main track, Terry. It's a one-turn event. Starts and finishes. It's a symmetrical race, actually, Terry. And in the 6 furlong races so far, Terry, they've had at Aqueduct 90 of them. 62 won by speed, Terry. 33 went wire to wire. Post position is mostly fair, although 1, 2, and 3 and 8 do perform a little bit better than 4 through 7. So a little bit of a barbell approach, a little bit more on the inside, a little bit more on the outside. And we start right in the middle where it's the most difficult, Terry.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I start with number 4, Any Minute. She ran second versus similar in her last race. She has the highest last race speed rating, and the trainer wins 27% of the time when using Lasix for the second time. Then I like number 1, Joke Meister. She finished in her last race, second in her last race at Parks. And jockey Trevor McCarthy, who we've had on the show several times, or a couple of times.
Smoking hot. Last night we talked about how he's now the jockey of the week. And
He is.
the jockey of the week. That's because he came on our show and all that good luck went his way. Good to see you again, Tom.
Well,
if it's good, we'll win the Pegasus. You heard it here first.
Yeah. All right. Well, the last 7 days, Trevor has won 8 out of 19 starts. And then I like our boy Chicum. Finished third versus similar in last race, and best start speed as fastest among today's starters. And they added Lasix. And then number 6, Boneyard Holler, drops in class today and has Lasix added.
Number 4, Any Minute, Terry, is a horse that's making its third start off a layoff. It was well bet in its last race, and in the last 2 races, it increased its speed figures. In fact, 3 races in a row increased its speed figures. So if the third race off the break, that classic handicapping angle comes to fruition, it should have a 4th speed increase in a row. It did have some of the fastest opening fractions last time out of any horse that raced. So that's a horse that should be near the lead at a distance and surface that favors speed. I like the Joke Meister. Believe it or not, Terry, when I was in high school, I was the class clown unanimously.
I believe it.
Can you believe that? Yeah. I was the only kid that got a vote. Can you believe that? Maybe not. I think one other kid got a vote, but they told me, like, with the people who do like the yearbook stuff, that nobody had gotten more votes for the class clown in the history of the school. Yeah. Anyway, the Joke Meister had some big 2 furlong and 4 furlong pace improvement last time. I like to see those inner race improvements. That's a sign to me the horse is on the upswing. Last time out, it had a huge improvement in that second start, so I expect more in the third. Was bet well at Parks. I'm a little bit concerned about that angle that we talked about before, that small track, the big track thing, but has the top pedigree, so hopefully that's enough to overcome it. If not, the ever winning every race at Aqueduct, Trevor McCarthy should be. Boneyard Holler, Terry. Strong workout on January the 9th. It's the only horse in the field that's actually taking a drop in class. Ran last time out for 50 grand. This time only running for 32 grand. It does have some early pace to it, Terry. And this is a horse that's getting, it's getting snipped. First time gelded, poor thing. And also first time Lasix. And then finally, number 7, Analysis should be better in its second start. If you look at the debut, had all sorts of issues at the gate, got pinched, got bumped, probably got discouraged. Hopefully it gets a better start today. Race number, go ahead. It's not like you're going to say something there, Terry.
Well, I was just going to say, I see Jordan Parks meant to say that the pick Super High Five does not
draw a big pool.
Yeah, and I think that's because it's complicated, especially for people that don't go a lot. And it also pretty expensive, and it's really hard to get.
Race number 2 is, again, 6 furlongs, Terry. This one's optional claiming for $50,000, Terry, for 3-year-olds, which have started for a claiming price of $50,000 or less and have never won 2 races, or optional claiming price of $50,000. so many different weird conditions. We talked about how 6 furlongs favors speed on the inside and on the outside, although you can still get it done from 4 to 7. Terry, you like the 3 horse. Why do you start off with 3 horse?
Yeah, let me see here. I like the three because running Son of a Gun won last race at Aqueduct, and the jockey in the last 7 days has won 5 out of 19 races. As a matter of fact, finished in the money 10 out of 19 times. That is a good 4 furlong workout. January 19th at Belmont did 49.2 breezing, and it was the second best out of 141 workouts. That's pretty good.
Mm.
And then I like number 1, Pin Track. Won the last race at Aqueduct, earning the highest last speed rating. The trainer wins 21% of the time when they enter it, when he enters the horse in the first race after being claimed, and added Lasix this time. Then I like number 6, Hoboken Jack. Lost all chance in her last race when she was bumped at the break and had to take up. Now drops in class and has a really good workout on January 19th. And then I like number 4, Buston Petrie. Drops in class today, should improve at the shorter distance. And the best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And this is another one that Lasix is being added to.
I was contemplating making number 1, Pin Track, my best bet for the day. Has the number 1 early pace figure, so the horse should be out of the gates on the gas. Does have the top early pace, late pace combination, so should be able to use that early pace to its advantage. Only horse in the field, Terry, to run a last race speed figure over par. Had a huge jump in performance in race number 2, but the only thing that concerned me a little bit is that the workout since that last race were kind of sluggish. So I'm hoping the first time Lasix is enough to kind of overcome those poor workouts, or maybe they're just maintenance workouts, but they were not that fast. Running Son of a Gun, Terry, got to like that name there. Won its last race with some big time improved fractions. And also, you see some internal number improvement there, too, with the 2 furlong and 4 furlong pace numbers. Horse does have the top pedigree and managed to run some of the top fractions that any horse in this field has been able to produce so far. Number 4, Buston Pietre, is taking a big drop, as is number 6, Hoboken Jack. Both ran for $500,000 last time. This time they're running for only $55,000. Buston Pietre is getting that first time Lasix, Larry, and I do like Kendrick Carmouche on front runners. I think that's his strength in terms of the jockey. He might disagree, but as I mentioned, Hoboken Jack, the 6 horse, is another dropping from $500,000. Had some really good workouts since running for that $500,000, Terry. So maybe they should have thought about running for $500,000 again, as it did run some of the fastest opening fractions last time out. Race number 3, Terry, on the card is a 7 furlong affair for claiming $25,000. Fillies and mares 4 years old and up, foiled in New York State and approved by the New York State Bred Registry. Now, 7 furlongs, Terry, when you look at this, is 42 races so far at Aqueduct on the dirt there. Again, speed is the way, which is modern horse racing in America, right? 31 won by speed, 16 gone wire to wire, Terry. And they play pretty fair, although the outside posts do have a little bit of a bias. You're starting off, as I do, with Saratoga Beauty. I like Saratoga Beauty because it does have the top early pace numbers. And with that, married to the top pedigree. My only concern here, Terry, is this horse is an all or nothing horse, Terry. It's won race 6 times at Aqueduct, winning 3 of them, but not in the money in the other 2. But in getting prepared for some time in the barn, the horse has put together some strong works. What do you think is the reason the 5 horse is going to win?
Well, first of all, that had a really bad race the last race, but has a lot of excuses. Was troubled in the last race, was bumped at the brink, and finished poorly. So I'm going to throw that race out. This horse has the best dirt speed, fastest among today's starters, and the jockey in the last 7 days has won 3 out of 11 races. And then I like number 4, Green Gots. Finished third in the last race at Aqueduct, finished in the money 50% of the time at Aqueduct, winning 2 of those races. And then I like number 3, Keep My Eye on the Boys. The trainer wins 24% of the time when shipping in to race at a new track. And Trevor McCarthy is on there. He had ridden the another horse earlier, and I think he's decided on this one. In the last 7 days, as we've said, he's won 8 out of 19. And then number 2 is Big Al's Gal. Has the highest last race speeding, and the trainer wins 20% of the time when first race after he's claimed a horse, and the jockey has also done pretty well, 3 out of 10.
Saratoga Beauty, as I talked about my top pick. Big Al's Girl is the second pick, and Terry, three consecutive speed figure increases, Terry, as you mentioned, first off the claim for trainer Kelly Breen. And I also like the fact that this horse is going to get a little bit of a weight break, a small weight break, but maybe enough to make a difference in the end. Number 4, Gringotts ran better fractions last time, despite running a mile versus 6 furlongs the previous time. I really like that, Terry, when you see a horse stretch out, and yet its fractions are faster in the route than it was in the sprint race. Again, a sign to me that the horse is getting in shape. In the money, 8 out of 16 at Aqueduct. As you mentioned, keeping my eye on the boys, ridden by Trevor McCarthy, great friend of the show, has the top late pace numbers, Terry. And the thing is, the horse in the past has shown the ability to be on or near the lead. So this is a field that doesn't have a lot of early speed. So if Trevor can get the horse to break sharp, relax, and run some decent fractions, keep my eye on the boys, could go wire to wire. Race number 4, Terry, is 6.5 furlongs. Race number 4 is the claiming 25,000 for fillies 3 years old. So there's really not a whole lot of conditions in that race. 6.5 furlongs, Terry, has been again a favorite for speed horses. 30 races, 21 by speed, nice even number there. 11 went wire to wire, Terry, and posts 4 through 7, unlike the other races we talked about, seem to have an edge. All the rest are pretty even. So for some reason, you don't want to be 1, 2, or 3 or 8 plus. Amazing Dream, Terry, for here is my top play of the day, my best bet of the day. And horse has the best early pace, late pace combination, Terry. Won the last one by running very close to the lead. First time Lasix, and I really like Manny Franco on horses that can get out of the gate and go forward. How do you like this race?
Okay, well, I like starts out with number 2, No More Mischiefs. This horse actually won its maiden race in a really hard-fought race. Was the favorite. Came out the next race and ran really a terrible race, but as an excuse, as it was bumped at the break, was pinched off between horses, which caused her to finish really poor. And so I'm going to throw that race out, just like it never happened. The trainer wins 26% of the time when bringing back a beaten favorite. And then they've added Lasix this time. Then I like number 1, Amazing Dream. Won last race at Aqueduct. A high percentage winner trainer, is Todd Fletcher. Then number 4, Queen Casimir. Finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, and has the highest last race speed rating. Then I like number 5, Saratoga Kisses. Should improve while returning to a sprint, and the trainer wins 27% of the time when using Lasix for the second time. Also has the best dirt speed among today's starters, and that trainer jockey combo the last 14 days has won 4 out of 6 races.
Yeah, I already told you why I like American Dream as my best bet of the day. Royal Blue is my second play here in race number 4. Has the top early pace number by a little over the 2 No More Mischief, the 5 Saratoga Kisses, and the 6 Alicia's Way. It is getting first time Lasix, and as you mentioned, Terry, just needs to run back one race to win when it went wire to wire. So I can see that same run right there. You don't have the 7, so you didn't mention that. Number 5, Saratoga Kisses, is 3rd off a layoff. What can kind of concern me a little bit about that is when I look back at the previous 3 race cycles, the horse did regress in the other. 3rd starts off a layoff. Number 2, No More Mischief, Terry, does have the top pedigree. Was the favorite, as you mentioned last time, had all kinds of problems, but was the favorite in both starts. And as you mentioned, did not have a clean trip. And in last race, it didn't have a clean trip in its debut either. But it did show speed in that debut and gets some first-time Lasix here, Terry. A little bit later on today, Terry, we're going to be back, right, tonight?
Yes.
And we're going to have a special guest with us tonight for the Players Edge podcast, which starts at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Our guest is going to be, let me pull up the screen here. It's going to be Claudia Spadaro. Hopefully I got that right, Jay Marco. She is the Spanish-speaking commentator for the folks down there at Gulfstream Park. We're going to be talking a lot about the Pegasus this weekend, where you heard it here first from Tom Carley. Life is good. We'll win the Pegasus. Right?
That's right.
You wish you had that 3 now. Yes, Jared. We opened up the show with that. And we do wish we had the 3 now. So we want to know, and did you, and this was the conversation between us. Did I get that right, by the way, Jay? I want to make sure for when she comes on tonight that I get it right. But do you have any other insights today, Jordan? Did you, and be honest now, Jordan. And I'm not saying that you're not honest, but I'm saying be honest. Did you get a tip from somebody? Jared, did you get a tip from somebody, or did you handicap that yourself? And if you did handicap it, what did you see? Share that with us, your angle there, so we can try to use it as well. Right, Terry?
That's right. Like to know what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't want an angle that gives you a 30-1 horse, right?
That's right.
I'll
Good
take
going.
One of those a day. I don't need to do anything else. So next up on the docket today, Terry, is race number 5, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pressing so many different buttons. I'm losing myself on my screens here. But race number 5, Terry, is your best bet of the day. Why do you like why do you see the 2 horse as your best bet?
Well, first of all, this horse has ran second 2 times in a row on a good and a muddy track. I don't know what the track's going to be like today, but so that shows that if it is some mud or good, it's going to do okay.
Well, I'm on Twin Spires right now, and it's 26 minutes to race number 1, and they have the track listed as fast.
That's good. Mm-hmm. And I like it because it has a high percentage trainer, but it also has Trevor McCarthy, who, as we said, is on fire right now.
And then they've in fuego for tonight.
That's right. They've the trainer wins 23% of the time when he gives Lasix to a horse for the first time, and I think it's going to really improve with getting the Lasix. So then I like number 1, King of Hollywood, as my second pick. She finished second in her last race at Aqueduct, and she has the best dirt speed among today's starters. And then I like number 4, Kobe's Legacy. Drops in class today. The trainer wins 26% of the time when it goes from a maiden to a maiden claiming. And I think the longer distance will help her. She's got Lasix added, and the jockey in the last 7 days has been in the money 7 out of 10 times, winning 3 of those. And then I like number 3, Gun Maestro. Came 6 wide in the stretch and still finished a decent 4th. Jockey in the last 7 days has won 3 out of 11.
And this race, Terry, is the second 7-furlong race on the day. As I mentioned, 42 races, 31 won by speed, 16 gone wire to wire, and you do have a little bit of an outside bias. So we both have the 4 inside horses in the exact same order, 2, 1, 4, 3. So Good Skate has the fastest quarter-mile fractions that any horse put together. This one has the top early pace numbers by a wide margin, Terry. So I do agree with you that 2 horses probably need to get to the lead. Top last race speed figure. You can just repeat that last race. Gets first-time Lasix, third off a layoff. There's a whole lot of reasons to like the 2 horse. King of Hollywood just missed in its last race. It's a really consistent horse in terms of its production, and it is a Denzel Washington horse. It spends a lot of time near the winner's circle, Terry, just not a lot of time in it. But, the more time you're knocking on the door, eventually you're going to get a haircut. Kobe's Legacy, Tom Carley. This one's for you, buddy. It is a Tom Carley drop, maiden special weight to maiden claiming. Ran for $80,000 last time, $48,000 this time. First time Lasix and gets a weight break. So not only is this a Tom Carley horse, this is a 22-1 Tom horse too, because he loves the weight drop and Lasix angle as well, and speed. So, and number 3, Gun Maestro, Terry. This horse has the top pedigree for the distance and surface. Did run some pretty fast fractions as well, like Good Skate. Gets the first time Lasix. And if you look at its fractions last time out, Terry, it ran a much faster race than it did in the previous race. And again, I love to see that. Let's talk about our hot dog pick 4. I think that's the one we started off, Terry, with, because I think we started in race number 2. There it is.
Yep, that's right.
So you're putting all your money on that 5 horse, Terry.
That's right. I am.
You didn't even make it your best bet.
No, I didn't, but I still think that horse has got a really good chance to win that race. So I like in the first leg, I like the 3, 1, and 6. Then I singled the 5. And then in the fourth race, I actually, even though that's your best bet race, I actually think that's a pretty wide open race. So I used the 2, 1, 4, and 5. And then in the last leg, the fifth race, I used the 2, 1, and 4.
Jay, to answer your question, how much does first time Lasix influence my decision making? When I don't like it so much on horses that close, but I've seen over and over again, like yesterday, that 10 horse that closed out the hot dog pick for it, Bravo Zulu. I've seen it so many times now where a horse gets that, like has that lead for the 6 furlongs or 4 furlongs to, through the second call and then just fades really hard. And then they get that dose of Lasix the next time out and boom, it's enough. And we saw that yesterday with Bravo Zulu. The horse got out to the lead, ran some pretty easy fractions. I mean, it was 25 in the opening quarter, 50. I knew when it ran at 50 at the half that the race was over. I mean, that was just the slow fractions on a horse that showed speed, that was getting that Lasix. I didn't think anybody was going to catch him, and it proved to be the way that worked out. So on horses that close, I'm not a big fan of Lasix. I know from talking with jockeys, I think Trevor McCarthy, and this is just from memory, so it could be wrong because we know I bang my head too many times, but I think Mike Smith also mentioned that the jockeys, some of them have mentioned to us that they prefer second-time Lasix over first-time Lasix. So that's come from Trevor for sure said that. I don't remember if Mike said it or it was another jockey, but I know 2 jockeys have said that to us. So I would look at second-time Lasix on horses that close, first-time Lasix on horses that show early pace and giddy up and go. Race number 6, Terry, is a 1 mile race claiming 16,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime. Terry, I forgot to mention that race 5 last time out is that connect the race. It's the killer race. So you got to come home with the winner there so you can connect the early pick 4 to the late pick 4. But that's race number 6, 1 mile, $16,000 claimer, non-winners of 2 for 4 years old and up, which have never won 2 races, Terry. So some pretty basic qualifications there. I can't think of the word right now. Conditions. So race 1 mile, Terry, at Aqueduct is not what I would call a typical route because they just take one turn. And I know from talking with jockeys who raced there, Jose Ortiz, Trevor McCarthy, who have come on our show, thankfully, they've mentioned that they treat that race more like a sprint than a route. And you can see that's probably how it plays out because they've run 74 races at a mile, Terry. 57 of the 74 were won by speed. 23 of the 74, so almost a third, went wire to wire. And if you look at the post positions, the rail underperforms, and there is a tiny outside bias. You're going to start with the outside horse, Jerusalem Gates. Terry, it tied for the top last race speed figure. Why else do you like that horse?
Well, it drops in class today. Matter of fact, it drops 2 classes down, and this trainer wins 31% of the time when he does that. It has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and the best dirt speed is the fastest among today's starters. And earlier this year, last year, it showed that it has the early speed as we were discussing. And then number 4, Breaking Stones, finished 3rd versus similar in his last race. And bullet work on January 11th, 50.3 breezing. It was the best out of 26. And I like number 6, Actuary. He's done well at the track and at the distance. And then I like number 1, Coach Behe. Highest speed figure at today's, has one of the highest speed figure today's distance. The trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 3 races. So,
yeah, this was a pretty open race to me, Terry. Once again, I have a horse here that you don't have as my top pick. Those have worked out pretty well for me so far. So I'm not totally afraid of my 2 horse. Blame It on Brutus. Blame It on Brutus tied for the top last race speed figure last time out. Has the top pedigree for the distance and surface, Terry. And like Jerusalem Gates, 2 horses in this race that last time out ran a last race speed figure above par for this class. Jerusalem Gates is another that tied for the top last race speed figure. As you mentioned, Linda Rice does win at 31% when she drops a horse down 2 classes. And the horse ran for $45,000 last time out, only running for $28,000. Maybe it's 2 classes in the classification book, but I think a drop from 45,000 to 28,000 is not really a 2-class drop, maybe a 1.5 class drop. Number 4, Breaking Stones is my 3rd selection, Terry. Horse is making its third start off a layoff. Bullet work in between this race and its last race. I'd like to see that. And this horse is tied for the top early pace figure. So it should be pretty close to the lead when the gates open. But I also like the fact that it does have the top late pace and early pace combination. The last pick for me was real difficult, Terry, because I was going through a series of horses. I was going through number 5, Mr. Fidget, number 10, Mucho Sunshine, number 3, I didn't put down its name, so forgive me. But number 5, I settled on Mr. Fidget because it has the top late pace figures by a decent margin. Last time the horse ran was on December 17th, so not all that long ago, a little bit more than a month ago. But in between there, it has 14 furlongs of workout, so the horse should come back to the track fit and ready to go. Race number 7, Terry, is a mile and an eighth. This one is the best race on the card. It's also your box it up. It's an allowance, $72,000, Terry. Non-winners in one lifetime, 4 years old and up, foiled in New York State. And if you look at a mile and an eighth races, Terry, they've only run 17 of them, not a whole lot. 11 of them were won by speed. 7 went wire to wire. The rail horse and 8+. So the barbell approach again seems to have a small advantage over horses 2 through 7. So this is your box it up on the day, Terry. And this is when we take 4 horses and we put them together in a $1 exacta box, a 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. I think both of us hit our exactas yesterday. But really, we weren't able to finish it up with a third horse in there for the trifecta or the fourth horse for the superfecta.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, well, let me tell you why I picked this as my box it up. First of all, I like the odds in this race. It's pretty decent odds on most of these horses. So I like to start out with number 4, Son of an X. Won the last race at Aqueduct and got the highest last race speed rating, actually tied with another horse. And I like 6, There Is a Storm Brewing. Won her last race at Aqueduct.
I think I got the wrong race up on here, Terry. I don't know, because I have a good skate in here. I don't know how I got that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I put the wrong numbers in?
Let me see.
Because I just took the ones off of your email, so.
Well, let's see. Don't I have the 4?
That would be, I think that's race 5. I must have messed it up. Anyway, so let's just go with race 7. I think I screwed up that sheet, so my bad, folks. Normally when I screw something up, it works out pretty well for us, too.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I wasn't looking at that. Yeah, I have the 4, 6, 5. Maybe I screwed it up.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Somebody screwed it up, Terry. But you see, I'll take the blame, Terry. I got the broad shoulders.
I'm going to help you out. It's my fault. I'm looking now, and I did it on. I did it, so
all right.
I take the blame. Anyway, so then I like, as I was saying, the number 6 horse, has a high percentage winning trainer, Rob Actress. And then I like number 5, Run for Boston, closed to be beaten only a length and a half at a mile and now stretches out, which should help. And then has the best dirt speed among today's starters. Then I like number 3, Make It In Nigh Finished. Make It In Nigh. Finished third in the last race. Switches to high percentage trainer who wins 28% of the time the first time after training a horse. And then the jockey in the last 7 days has been in the money 10 out of 19 times.
I just cleaned that up, Terry. So race number 5 is Terry's box it up. So we'll bring that back up again in a moment because I'm about to do mine in race number 8. For me, in race number 7, Terry, I like There Is a Storm Brewing, Terry. That is the 6 horse. Absolutely has the top early pace figures in this field, Terry. It has the 3 consecutive speed figure increases. And I do like the fact that in its last race, Terry, across the early pace, the mid pace, and the late pace numbers showed improvement. So that horse tells me it is on the upswing. Number 4, Son of an X, does have the top early pace and late pace combination in the field. And it does so by a pretty good margin for sure. It does have the fastest fractions in the opening quarter that any horse has put on the track so far. And has 2 okay work since winning on January the 6th. So that horse turns around pretty quick, Terry. A little more than 3 weeks. Number 3, Make It On Nigh, is the first off the claim for trainer Rob Altris. And if you remember, I think Rob Altris was working for Robertino Diodoro last year or the year before. But Robertino, as we know, is excellent at that claim game. And what I like about this horse looks like a Robertino claim to me because it showed a lot of really early speed, and then it kind of faded. Robertino seems to claim those kind of horses and then have success the first time off. And when Robertino was on our show, he mentioned that I absolutely 100% when they claim a horse have a race in mind. And I'm certain Robert has the same idea there. Number 2, Straight Skinny ran some of the fastest opening quarter mile fractions out of any horse in this field last time out. And since then put in some really good workouts. And it has the second best early pace number in a race that, again, doesn't have a lot of early pace to it. Finally, Terry, the last race on the day is race number 8. Terry, this is actually my box it up. And race 8 is a claiming $2,500 6 furlong race. We've talked a lot about how 6 furlongs favor speed, so we don't really need to go over that again. But let me pull my box it up. And I think I got mine right, Terry. I hope I got mine right. Race number 8. I like the odds in this race too. This is a $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, and then a 10-cent superfecta box. I like number 8, Stream Engine, as my top choice, Terry. It has by far the top early pace number. So I think Stream Engine is going to get off to the lead. Again, you got a Rob Atras horse, his first off the claim. We just talked about that with Robertino Diodoro. Fast horse off the claim for Rob Atras. And on top of that, has a bullet workout on January the 5th. I would not be surprised if Stream Engine gets to the lead and just never gives it up. Number 2, Dark Money, second off a layoff. Terry should improve. First off a claim for Rudy Rodriguez, which is a 25% angle for him. But when you consider that it's over 250 races, that's a hell of a number. That 1 out of 4 out of 250 races, that's a data point that you can put in stone that is one that's reliable. And the horse ran better fractions last time out. Miss Alpha, Terry, is 1 for 1 in its only start across the Aqueduct racetrack, which was a wire-to-wire win. I expect the horse to be a lot better in race 2 off the bench. At least that's what the resume says, and did run some of the best fractions in the opening quarter last time out. And finally, Terry, let's dream bigger to end this week and hit a big one. Terry has 3 wins and 7 Aqueduct runs, 3 wins at the distance. I think they were all at Aqueduct as well. And this horse is not a cheap horse by any stretch of the imagination, Terry. Costs $205,000. I don't know that we'll get $205,000 out of our box it up, but hopefully we do. I'm looking forward to my first pick 6 like that, Terry. I'm going to start playing them after last night's show. Why do you like the way you like the things in race number 8?
Well, first of all, I think that you saying that Steam Engine's going to get out there and go like crazy, I think he's going to have a little trouble with Miss Alpha, because I think number 5 finished in the money in 10 out of 15 races, winning 6 of those races, and really has a really good early speed running style, which I think will help and push the number 8 horse. The jockey in the last 7 days has won 3 out of 11. Then I like number 2, Dark Money. Finished in the money in the last 2 races, winning 1 of the races, switches to a high percentage trainer who wins 24% of the time, first time after claiming a horse. And the jockey, as we've said in the past today, has won 3 out of 10 races, been in the money 7 times out of 10. Then I like your choice, number 8, Steam Engine, as my third choice. Speed horse has won at today's distance 25% of the time. It drops in class today. It switches to a high percentage trainer. And the trainer wins 28% of the time after claiming a horse. Then I like number 4, Dream Bigger. Won last race at Aqueduct. It likes the track, finishing 5 out of 7 races in the money, winning 3 of those races. And likes the distance, finishing 4 out of 6 races in the money, winning 3 of those races. So there you go.
And then, of course, that is our prime rib pick 4. So you went race number... Well, you went a little bit different. See, to me, I think that 8 horse has a really good shot to win that last race. But since we get a little bit of a bigger budget here, you went 3 by 3 by 4 by 5.
Yep.
I went 4 by 3 by 4 by 4, just a standard there, normal pick 4 that we're doing in terms of how we laid it out. Hopefully we can catch some big winners. The last time we were at Aqueduct, I just picked the wrong 4 races to do my pick 4 in, Terry.
Yeah, that's true. That's true,
right. Because if I had done the other way around, it would have been if I had done the early one, it would have been $29,000 and then $39,000. And even yesterday, if you had added I think the second pick for the pick 5 to my pick 4, You would have added $36. You would have had the pick 5 in there as well. So that would have worked out pretty well.
Absolutely.
If you're looking today to bet at Sam Houston, make sure you head over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. They are the free picks of the day over there. You just go over there and hit the Sam Houston button, and you'll see that they pop up. Number 4 in race number 2, Suffragette is a David Bowie song, right? If you're a big David Bowie fan, you'll know what that's about. Suffragette City, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. But head on over there, check that out. Yesterday we did pretty good at Delta Downs. Terry, tonight, again, just to reiterate, we're going to meet with Claudia. Jay's got me so worked up on her last name. I know when she comes on tonight, I'm going to be like, Claudia Spadaro. We'll be talking with her about the Pegasus tips. Again, Tom Carley says you heard it here first. Life is Good is going to win the Pegasus Invitational. And then Terry, tomorrow, Tom and I will be back at 1:00 Eastern for Foreign Fridays. We will be talking about the races in Dubai. Have never been there. Place I probably want to go someday. And then any other final thoughts, Terry? And by the way, Jared, you never answered our question. Did you get a tip on that 3-horse, or did you handicap it yourself? And if you did, what angle did you use, man? We want to use it as well. This is a community. We share, you share.
Yeah, well, I want to say don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at Horse Race, the number 2 day. And then like us on Facebook at Horse Race, the number 2 day.
Yes, and any thumbs up or likes on any of the social media helps us out, because that's how they figure out if you like the show. And if you like the show, then the more they put it to the top, the more people will be introduced to it. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. We thank you for helping us get there, but please continue to spread the word. Terry, I look forward tonight to talking about the Pegasus. I look forward to tomorrow talking about Dubai races. And on Saturday, you and I will be back to clean up some of the other stakes races on Saturday, besides the ones we talk about tonight. That's it for today, Terry. Hopefully one other thing, Terry, you had your best bet. How did your best bet do yesterday?
Oh, yeah. We didn't talk about that, did we?
No.
Yesterday, my best bet, my first choice actually ran 3rd, but paid more to show than the winner did to win.
That's good.
And yeah, paid $4 to show. And then my second pick, number 5, ran 2nd. And my third pick, number 2, ran out of the money. And
so today you're going to go to Gulfstream Park.
I am.
We're going to go down I-95 all the way from Aqueduct to Coral Gables.
So I like the number 2, Aunt Naughty. She closed to run 2nd at 6 furlongs in her last race at Gulfstream Park, and stretches out now to 1.16 miles. She is trained by Shug McGahee and has Louis Saez in the irons. Then I like number 5, Red Light Racer. After an extended layoff, she returns to finish 4th versus maiden special weight runners. And the trainer adds blinkers and has Irad Ortiz to ride the daughter of sorry, I got a little cough there. And then number 3.
So that's a good way to get out of trying to pronounce something.
It is. All right, you got me. All righty. Anyway, number 3, Confidential Central, is the daughter of Union Rags and stretches out after rallying to finish 3rd in her 6 furlong debut. Trainer Chad Brown wins 27% of the races, with maidens making their 2nd start, and has Tyler Glafione in the saddle.
So that's over at Gulfstream Park. I absolutely, Rich, take note for tonight. LOL, cough, cough. Yes, I indeed agree. All right, guys. So that wraps up today's show. Hopefully that, yeah, that's what I got to do when I'm pronouncing your name. I get it now, Jay. Claudia. All right. How are you doing today, Claudia?
Yeah, that was
I'm going to practice it all day, Jay. But in any case, hopefully everybody picks good races today. Has a lot of luck at Aqueduct. I think that first race is coming up in about, 4 minutes, Terry. So let's real quick run through our picks again. And then maybe we'll still be around when the first race gets started. So here's our full card. I corrected Terry's best bet and box. They're both in the same race number 5. So there's our full selections for the day, Terry. And then let's pull up our hot dog pick 4, because that one starts in race number 2. So it's our low cost, low budget, and a Kinks song. So we're talking about 60s, 70s, and 80s music today. And then prime rib pick 4. Boom. I did not have an opportunity to correct Terry's box it up, though. Terry's box it up, as I mentioned, is not in race number 7. It is in race number 5. So scratch that 7 there and put in a 5 mentally, or pay attention to the names. Again, $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box, Terry. Hopefully at least one of them or some of them, Terry, and all of your picks today end up in the
winner's circle.
That's it, folks. We couldn't stretch it out to the first race. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you tonight with Claudia Spadaro. And at 9:30 Eastern, we'll talk about the Pegasus. Hopefully, we'll have some winners. Till then, have a great day.